So I find myself kicking back on my couch, getting ready to watch some great NBA basketball. It's Saturday night. The Warriors taking on the Rockets. Great Western Conference rivalry for your boy. I know James Harden wasn't playing. It wasn't going to ruin my Saturday night. I dedicated it to not going out. I just wanted to watch some basketball. Now, with James Harden going down, it kind of spoiled the storyline of the game. Remember, James Harden had went off against the Warriors earlier in Golden State and drilled them with a game-winning three already this year. So with him going down, it's pretty much Chris Paul, Clint Capella. They're just now coming back into the lineup. It pretty much was supposed to be a throwaway game. The Warriors were supposed to blow that game out against a depleted Rockets team without their superstar, their MVP, and James Harden. And NBA/ESPN, they needed some storylines now with James Harden not being available for the game. So one storyline they ran with was, should Steph Curry's name enter the MVP conversation? And I just almost lost it. I'm like, yo, what? Listen, I want to have the utmost respect for Steph Curry. Steph Curry is so great offensively, we almost forget that he's probably one of the worst defenders we've ever seen from as great a scorer as he is, right? He's so elite at scoring. You just got to ask yourself, like, yo, why did this guy not commit more to defense? Don't tell me he's not big enough to defend. He's around 6'3", 6'4". We've seen guys at that height be able to defend their position. He does not do that night in and night out. Damian Lillard can light him up. Kyrie Irving can light him up. Heck, any point guard that can slash and get to the rim, they're going to light Steph Curry up. All due respect to Steph Curry, I think the league is being disrespectful to some of the other great talents around the NBA this year. Did Steph Curry deserve his MVP first time he got it? I thought he did. Second time around, I thought he did. Even though I probably would have gave one of those MVPs to James Harden, I was not mad at either of Steph Curry's MVPs, even the unanimous decision one, right? He was balling. His team needed him to be great night in and night out for them to be great. Klay Thompson gave it to you most of the time. Draymond Green some of the time. Steph Curry was giving it to you every night, right? But since then, the Warriors have added a guy. You might have heard of him. He goes by the name of Kevin Durant. He's really, really good. Some look at him as the second best player in the game. Some look at him as the best player in the game. He's really good. He puts the ball in the basket, and he takes a lot of pressure off Steph Curry. All right, okay, so now Steph's got another scorer. Klay Thompson. Last time I checked, when one of those point guards is going at Steph, they switch it. They put Steph on the shooting guard, which is usually a shooter, and Klay Thompson has the responsibility of guarding the team's best point guard. That usually happens night in and night out, especially in the postseason. I'm looking around the league like, dear NBA, dear Jalen Rose, have you seen Giannis Antetokounmpo this year? Not only does he have the ability and the responsibility to score for his Milwaukee Bucks team that is number one in the Eastern Conference, that's been that way pretty much all year. He's averaging 26, 13, and 6. He has to give it for that Milwaukee Bucks team to be elite defensively. Giannis doing it on both ends of the court. Chase down blocks, half court blocks, even up the steal game. The athleticism is there. Giannis has to be great on both ends of the court for the Milwaukee Bucks to be great. James Harden, ironically the team that they were playing in that game. Have you seen what Harden had to do when Chris Paul and Clint Capella were out of the lineup? Heck, even Eric Gordon was out of the lineup at one point in time. It was James Harden, the equipment manager, Daniel House, PJ Tucker, and PJ Tucker's shoes. James Harden was going out and averaging 40 for over a month, scoring 30 points in over 30 straight games, an NBA record. Fam, James Harden had to give it for his Rockets team to be competitive. By the way, last time I checked, Chris Paul ain't made that All-Star game in a couple years. Clint Capella has never made the All-Star game. So technically, James Harden doesn't play with any other All-Stars. Steph Curry has played with 4 guards that have made the All-Star game in the last 2 years. Okay, that's not enough. Have you looked at what Paul George is doing with the Oklahoma City Thunder? He's elite offensively and elite defensively, leading the league in steals. Best two-way player we got going in the Western Conference right now. Fam, I'm sorry, Steph. Out of all years, this ain't your year. And I want to give Steph Curry some respect. He's averaging about 28 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He can put up buckets. He has a big 51-point game this year. He does all that. But are we forgetting the fact that Steph Curry has also had games where he's put up 19 points, 15 points, 14 points a couple times, 11 points, and he has 2 games this season where he's put up 10 points? What MVP is that? Fam, we also forgetting that Steph Curry, like he does every year, missed 11 games this season? What kind of most valuable player is that? Are we forgetting the fact that when all these Warriors go down with injuries every year like they do, the most valuable guy on that team, the guy who's always available for his team night in, night out, is Kevin Durant. Now, I'll give you this. When Steph's available on the court, he's more important. But when we're talking value, sometimes value just means, can I count on you to be available for my team? And at least for 10 games every year, Steph Curry is unavailable for his Golden State Warriors team. Paul George ain't missed 10 games. James Harden ain't missed 10 games. And Giannis Antetokounmpo ain't missed 10 games. I don't want to be disrespectful to Steph Curry, but I feel like guys around the league are being disrespectful to other elite guys around the league. Yo, there are some really good guys, really great guys doing some things on some really bad teams without them, and I'm not going to reward the guy who plays with 4 other All-Stars with trophies. I've said this before and I'll say it again. When the Warriors decided to add Kevin Durant, to me, they take themselves out of the running for every individual award there is as long as that team is together. They get theirs in the playoffs. They want to win MVP awards, win it in the finals, right? You win championships. You guys have entirely too much talent to even consider yourself in the running for regular season awards. I think it's a disrespect to the league. To me, if you got a league that's trying to say, yo, we don't promote players joining up, we want players to be in small market teams, I think that's kind of like backwards hustling. You're almost lying to the fans if you give Steph Curry or Kevin Durant MVPs or Draymond Green defensive player of the years. To me, you're lying because you're promoting guys being together. If you're telling these elite players, yo, if you join with this other guy that's really, really good, y'all go get 3 other guys who really good and get on the All-Star game, you're pretty much saying, yo, you can still win regular season MVPs if you're the best out of the great. It shouldn't be that way. These guys get theirs. They win at the end of the day. They're championship level guys every year they're together. I just think that they should be pretty much disqualified for regular season awards. If we're going to give the award to guys like Steph Curry, we need to change the award. It's not about most valuable player. You're trying to say who had the best season or the best stretch, or who's the best player on the best team, because you can't be talking about most valuable player. There are guys who are much more needed on their team night in and night out for them to make the playoffs, let alone the Warriors sit atop the Western Conference and Steph ain't been available for 11 games. In about 6 or 7 other games, he's averaged about 14 points. I'm sorry, fam. Steph Curry, as great as you are, and you are great, you got 2 MVP awards, and you do not deserve a 3rd as long as that Golden State Warriors team is orchestrated like it is. You are disqualified, fam. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
Got the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.Taliaferro.
Mr.Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro. Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr.Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.